I'm Wahida, I'm an addict.
Hey, Wahida.
I like to give thanks to my higher power and clean the day and don't have to desire to do any dope. And for me, that's a miracle. You know, I don't want to do nobody else either. You know, and I'm really feeling real grateful. Like I got asked a few months ago about coming in and sitting down and sharing some experience, strength, and hope. And they said, well, what do you want to share about? And I said, well, uh, my problem is principles before personality, and I had to bring that up so I could share that with other people, because I was overwhelmed with personalities around me, and it seems like the personalities outgrew the principle around me, and I didn't know what the hell was going on. So I was like, okay, I just had to back up and back out in order for me to go forward again, you know. But like Alicia said, she tricked me up in these rooms about 30 some years ago, right? A little over 30 years ago, she tricked me. She told me to come to the meetings. I come to the meetings, and there would be some nice guys there. I said, that sounds good. So we went to the meeting, and we had these meetings, and one of the meetings was called Hardcore. And when you get to Hardcore, it was hardcore. It was core. The core of that meeting was hard. They pulled out a book, and this book got passed around the room, and everybody read a paragraph or whatever you could read, and we helped each other read the book. The book was passed around, and that's what the meeting was about. Whatever that topic was, hardcore. You couldn't talk about that. Oh, my baby ain't got no shoes today, or I lost my check. It wasn't nothing about how much or how little you had or who your connections was. It was about what was going on inside you, because that's what made us sick. You know, it was like they had such strong principles, and I miss some of that. Yeah, things have changed, and it's changed to a point that it got to the point that are the principles more important than the personality? Because I'm just watching. I'm getting kind of lost up in here. I'm getting lost because if I'm not at the meeting, or if I'm not showing up on Facebook with you, or if I'm not at here and there and here there, I'm not fitting in no more. I can't keep up with it no more. I'm too old for that. You know, things have changed. My body ain't doing what it used to do. I can't be everywhere. Everybody wants me to, but my heart is here. This is where I came into. I came I came and I wanted to stay around because when I came in here, it felt safe. It was loving and caring environment where I felt real safe in this environment that I knew when I got to a meeting, or if I could get to the meeting, I'm gonna be all right. I don't care what I was going through, I would be all right. I knew if I got to the meeting and I cried out that they ain't gonna even let me go home until I felt better. I don't know. It's that personality or principle. I'm not sure what that is, but I sure loved it. I loved it. I felt like I felt safe. And it helped me stay clean. I'm not sure if I came in right now whether I'll be able to stay clean or not. Because I might not have no clothes, or I might not have a car, or I might not have a house. I might not have the things that look good to some people nowadays. It's like what you got looks good. And it's a little challenging sometimes to wonder why I could come in here and talk about even where I was or where I am, today. Because then might not be comfortable with me, But I came in, I remember going through some things and growing through some things and having stuff. I had some big stuff. I had big stuff. I had little stuff. I had big stuff. I had some stuff, right? And it seemed like that when I had big stuff, I had a big group of folks in my life too. And it dwindled down. As it dwindled down and the challenges got different for me, it's like it changed. My personality changed. I'm not that person that came in here no more. I'm not let me see, that 30-something-year-old girl, you know. I was just, a few years ago, I hit 60. I got 60. When I hit 65, I was like, wow, I'm 65. wow, wow, celebrate, let's have some fun, you know. I got 66 and I say, And so last year I turned 67 and I was like, damn, I'm close to 70. And so my whole, everything has changed. You know, my whole thought pattern has changed. It's like, let me get prepared for returning to God. Not, you know, the God of my understanding. I, I need to straighten out my personality and keep it right. Is how do I do that? The only way I know how to do that is to stand on some type of principle, you know, because, you know, I kind of wanted to look at what's the difference between a personality and a principle. You know, it's like your character is your personality. You know what I'm saying? You being an individual is your personality. You know, you being the type of person, like my girl here, she'd be like, you a A and you a B and, you know, you a F, or, you know, she got all these characteristics that she have studied, and people got these personalities. But the important thing for me is like, if they say principles before personalities, then that's the most important thing for me now. Trying to build up that principle in my life that I stand for something or fall for anything, you know? And if you don't have an idea of the difference between that person, it's like you standing there at the waterfront, we're on the ocean, and you the person standing there. You think you're gonna overpower that water? You're not. Because that's the principle. You can't change that. It's gonna come and go and come and go, but it's gonna be, sometimes it's gonna be large and sometimes it's not. And that's the principle of life. The things that really happen that's really important, it ain't about my personality. You know, what's going on with you? Because that's gonna affect who you are. The things that we can't change. It's like, you know, it was so many areas that I came about in every book. You know, it said practice these principles in all our affairs. And how do we come here? I don't know how to get, I don't know. I was scared when I got here. I was so scared. I wanted to know what them principles was. Because they said to practice these principles in all my affairs. I'm like, damn. I didn't hear Mary talk about her skirt was too short. You know what I'm saying? I didn't hear somebody short on this or got this or what. I heard people hurting, you know. I'm scared I'm gonna go back out and use. I'm afraid that I'm gonna get put out my treatment program. I heard some stuff like that, and now I hear stuff like, oh, my baby's mama didn't do so and so, and you know, she was short on the rent and she took my check. I mean, I hear, and when I came, they told us to shut up, because it was like, if you didn't talk about the real deal, there were people in the corners telling you need to shut up. You know what I'm saying? It was a different atmosphere that helped us stay on that principle. Your personality, I didn't got enough of that dress I want. You know, that man ain't looking at me the way if I fix up my lips or I put that makeup on just right, then you're gonna like me. You know, liking me has to do with what I got on. Something's wrong with that picture. Because I don't look like I did when I came over 30 years ago. I didn't look like this. You know, I got a few more wrinkles and my hair turning gray, and I was afraid to let it turn gray. And I said, I'm trying to embrace it now. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try it. It's got about half an inch up in there, and I was like, and then I seen the sister over there, and I was like, oh, her hair is pretty. It's gray. Then I seen the sister over there, and I said, oh, look at her hair. It's pretty. It's gray. You know, trying to embrace it, because fighting with my insides and my outsides. My inside says surrender, and my outside's like, how? But I'm more ready to surrender today than I was a year ago. You know, I can accept myself the way I am. And what's challenging is that I'm changing, my personality changing. I'm still standing on the same principle, but because my body is not doing what you think they should do, then I'm in trouble. You know, like I know I'm the trunk of the tree. I'm deep into my roots, but I got branches. And thank God for that tree that's outside my house because it don't have no leaves on it no more. And then I realized, I said, well, you know, everything I see come from a power greater than myself. And I seen that power take all them leaves off that tree. All of them gone off that tree. And then he put new ones on. Right. I mean, that roots and that deepness is deep. I'm dug deep into this program. So I want to know what these principles are. You know, because everybody, I see some people that came in here with one attitude, and it was like, oh God, you got an attitude, you know, something you going through. And the people say, well, he got through it and it's good. But the principle of the thing is like, the principle is the nature. It's like the nature of law. It's the law. It's the law. If I want to learn how to do the right thing, I'm going to have to learn something about these principles in this program. You know, and then they got more and more and more and more and more and more books. And we happen to have one say, the guiding principles.
Imagine that.
Why? I said, oh, wow. So when I get in, I read my book, and it says things like this. It says, where I want to go. It says, like, one of the principles that's highlighted in this book is about you know, hospitality. And it says what we should do to be hospitable, you know. And one of the things, like, when I was at one group, I was in, we made it important to stand right there at the door and greet people when they came in the door, to make people feel welcome. It says feeling welcome and welcoming others to our new way of life help us see the world less, what do you call that, hostile, less hostile place. Practicing welcome as a spiritual principle. So practicing welcome is a spiritual principle also. It can change our relationship to NA and to the world outside. You know, it's like when I welcome somebody, I don't know if you ever went to a meeting sometime and somebody hugged you, or somebody welcomed you, or somebody said, what's your name? It just made you feel better. Or you was in pain and somebody stopped you before you left and say, you all right? It's so much that we have to come back to in order to grow forward. You know, it's like being the principal. I could be the plant. You know, I'm the tree. But that dirt, without that dirt, I can't grow. So it's like, for sure, the principle of the thing, I know the sun's going to come up, and I ain't had nothing to do with it. I'm not. My personality, I can tell you how strong I am and all this other stuff, but the fear of not doing the right thing for the right reason scared the hell out of me. You know, it scared the hell out of me to even go to a meeting with time and be afraid to speak. And it's because I don't want to be judged, because I've been here so long. You know, I can't talk about how I really feel. I can't talk to that. I'm about to lose my house. You know, they're about to take my house from me, and that's true. You know, I did something stupid, didn't do it the right way, and didn't want to ask for no help. You know, and I to just go through these. And one of my sponsors said, I forgot to pay my gas bill. Had the money, but I forgot. And had to wait a week before my gas got cut back on. And I was telling people that. One of my sponsors said, oh, don't tell people that. I'm like, why not? You're going to be here one day.
Okay, tell somebody like that.
You're not going to be able to remember every damn thing today. You watch. You know, I remember many, many years ago when I first got here, and I started talking about menopause. Pausing for a minute. I don't know. Y'all all know what I'm talking about, okay? Don't be acting like y'all don't. Whether you're a woman or a man, because you know a woman that's going through it. or been through it, even if it was your mama. You know what I'm saying? But if you could get through that, you could get through almost anything. So if you're the man dealing with a woman getting through that, you could get through anything. But when I was talking about that at a meeting, my ex said, I don't know why you're talking all that personal stuff, because it affects other people's life too. And then you should hear all the people that called me back years after I shared that I was going through menopause. I was pausing for a minute, and then gone. I thought I was just getting hot, and that'd be it. But then I had to realize that the real thing, that's a real principle. That was something that was shutting down, that if it wasn't up and working, none of us would be here. We all came out some oven, somebody's belly, right? So when the menopause paused, you know, it's shutting down the most powerful thing that's walking.
That's right.
So if we shut down the principle, it's the most powerful thing in this program that's working. It's working like that. That was the oven. That's why we here. That's why we embraced this, because it had something that was you wanted to stand on, that was unbreakable, unshaken. It's going to happen as long as we stay that way. I mean, I've been in meetings now, and I had to just slow down from doing a lot of service, because I'm tired of fighting with folks that ain't never worked the steps or the traditions. You know, and so when you have this conversation with them, they want to put you down and don't want you talking, because they don't have this clear understanding. When I got here, I was so afraid not to practice these principles in all my affairs. So what I had to do was listen. So the thing, when I got here, it was a thing like this. You in a book study? Yeah, I'm in a book study. Yeah, I'm over there with Jordan. I'm over there with so-and-so. It was a thing. You know, like that thing now. What kind of car you got now? Oh, you know what's the name drive that way? This is my sister's girlfriend, best friend, sponsee, all that. I know her car purple or wine color. You know what I'm saying? I can't tell you what kind. I know yours white. I can't tell you what kind of car you got. Okay? I can't keep up with that. I know you come to meetings. I know you go to conventions. I know that there are some people that's there for me no matter what. But there's some of them I don't know. I don't know what kind of car and I don't give a damn. Straight up, I don't what kind of car you got, whether you got a mink coat or a car coat, or you ain't got no coat. I don't roll like that, you know. I really, my principle is to treat you the way I want to be treated, because that's what my mama said. Trust me, trust a person until they give you reason not to. So I give everything a chance. The people that have hurt me most is in this program. No, they're not in the program. Let me retract that. They are in the fellowship, because they didn't understand the where I've gotten. So I've gotten to the point that God's law is bigger than your law, The God of my understanding, I'm trying to do the right thing for the right reason. And I'm not trying to look good for you. I'm not. I can't look for good for you no more. That would kill me to sit around. If you ever been to a parade, and in the parade, the horses got the blinders on, that's what I got. I got blinders on. I'm in one direction. I want to be in the direction of doing the right thing for the right reason. And when I practice these principles in all my affairs, it becomes easy. It's like when I wake up in the morning, and some days I wake up and my girlfriend says, you got to wake up, sit up, and get up. And so when I wake up, I've got to be honest. Am I feeling well enough to get up? Am I feeling well enough to sit up? Then I sit up, and then I'll be like, oh, I hope I can stand up. You know what I'm saying? And then I get the faith to stand up and keep it moving, and the courage to deal with somebody else, just to even answer the phone if the bill collector's call. I get the courage to do them things all that every day, every single day. It's me getting through them principles. And if you ain't got them, you got to grab somebody. If the sponsor ain't doing, your sponsor don't have to be the one to take you to this. If somebody doing it, ask to be a part of it. You ask them, you could tell the difference between the ones that have been through these steps and they had others. Now it's a few that still shooting guns at each other and they still been through the steps, but they didn't get it. You know,
Right.
you hear what I'm saying? Right, they still shooting at each other, one way or another, whether I'm trying to tear you down or whether I'm trying to make you look better. I want to look better than you. So he ain't nothing. You know, he got all raggedy car. Or look, you see the most cheap shoes she got on? I don't give a damn. I don't care how much or how little you got or who your connections are. That's my principle. And it's just so doggone easy for me. Just to be important to me to be myself. And I just want people to allow me to be myself. And I'm not that person no more. I'm not the person I walked in here on, you know. And if I stand for something and you don't like me standing for it, it's okay. Just let me stand for that. You find out what you stand for. I'm gonna support you. I'm gonna be your cheerleader and what you want to be, and just let me cheer me on with what I want to be. As long as it's standing on some principles that don't break this principle. When I get to the point I'm in a home group, I've been in a home group for 29 years and walked away because I made a decision. I'm not going to fight to serve. I'm not going to fight you because you think you know more than me. I don't understand. When I got here, I think I had 2 years and I was working on programs and one old timer. He was old timer. He had 5 years. I had 2. You know, it wasn't nobody with 30 years. The people didn't come on here. There was nobody with 30 years, 20 years. Everybody that had more time than me was 5, maybe 6 years at the most. That was it. But I was scared of them folks. But I knew I was safe when I was around them. I don't know. I'm trying to understand what is going on. You know, so my home group, I left because somebody got up on me physically almost, angry because I'm trying to tell something I know. You know, like we talk about service, and I've been a secretary, but I've been taught to be a secretary. I don't, when I close that envelope, that money stay in that envelope until it's time to count it in front of everybody again. That's how I was taught. You know, and it was checks and balances. So ain't no one person collecting no money without somebody else collecting the money and checking their name. And we put your name, I put my initials, your initials, and 2 people know that where that money is before we left up out of there. And so when you bring that to folks now, you don't trust me, it ain't about that. It's not about that. It's about checks and balances. When you take your money to the bank, you want a receipt. You know, it ain't our money. It ain't when people put money in the collections to take care of the rent, the books, and all the other stuff, it ain't my responsibility to know what happened to it when you get to the end of the month and you still trying to hold on to some money. You zero out. That money should go to the world. You know, how you think these books are printed? By osmosis? I don't know, but it's not that. Because nobody knows about the world. We pay some people at the world to take care of some of the stuff that we need to be taken care of. And by the way, if you think somebody telling you something wrong, you could call the world and ask them, and they'll tell you, "Oh, that's not right," or "Man, that's a good argument, but y'all have to look at this." So there are people, we limit ourselves. I had the opportunity to go around the world, and go to different countries and go to meetings. Sometimes some places like you go to them Iraq and Iran, them people are having meetings in a cave, somewhere. And we are blessed. Look at us. We sit up in a hotel, Holiday Inn, and we come a long way. It was times for meetings to be locked out of meetings. Now, you remember when we be locked out of meeting? It might be 2 or 3 of us. Everybody go to their cars, find their books, and we sitting outside having a meeting. That's right. You go to a meeting today, and there ain't nobody there to open the door. Bye. And nobody trying to figure out how we're going to keep having this meeting. And if that newcomer, that person that ain't never been clean is suffering, and nobody standing out there for them, that's the one that's still suffering. That's always the most important person, is the addict that is still suffering. It didn't say if they still suffering with 20 years or 10 years or 2 years. It says the addict that's still suffering. You know, somebody might just came home from someplace that we don't want to go. They suffering. They trying to put their life back together. You know, it's somebody that lost their child. They suffering. They could be here 30 years and they just lost their child. They suffering. Or their husband or their mate. We don't understand. We don't know what nobody coming in. But you can come and go in a meeting and somebody don't like you. Or they misunderstood you. Or somebody done told you something about that person. You know, she's full of this and she's full of that. And that girl come walking up in there and you be like, You don't even give her a chance. All into the personality somebody told you about that person. We don't give each other a chance. If I get mad at you, I know we were mad at people and when I got here. And you get upset with somebody, and that person used, or their mama died, or their daddy died, or something happened, we still all over their house. I'm going in too. Yeah. We didn't care about your personality. We did not care how much or how little you had. The principle is like water. The principles are like water. Now, if any of y'all can anybody in here live without water? I mean, that's how important these things are. You know, it's a humility, faith, trust, acceptance, open-mindedness, willingness, love, responsibilities, courage, service. These things, if you don't have them, what do we have? And it's a difference. If you don't understand, ask somebody. There's many people around here. When people around here with time, now I'm going to tell you, the people with 20 years and over, them are the ones that probably got more than the ones with 20 years and less. So it was a serious moment when we came up in here. It was serious. It was no games played. Everybody wanted they were scared to die. And we were scared that somebody else might die. We were. I mean, we went for coffee many a times. When the meeting was over, it was another meeting. When you got to a meeting, it was a meeting. You know, I see people saying there's a crew over here. When I go now, there's a crew over here. It's a crew right there. And if you ain't in their crew, when you go walking up to them, the whole conversation's changed. But that we ain't talking about it. If we got to talk about this, that I'm not feeling comfortable here. And if you got to find we got to find some place that we feel comfortable so we could grow. You know, it's like being in a pot, a plant. You put, I don't know if you grow plants. If you leave them in a pot long enough, they're gonna be they are strong enough to break the pot to go through, because we growing, and we growing faster than the pot that we've been put in. Because when I came, there would be empty seats, and now there's no seats. But okay, as soon as I get pissed off with you, I go start another meeting. And now we got a whole bunch of empty pots because people don't want to go over there, and then then when they go back to the meeting that's closed up because you got mad at that person and I don't like the way they doing stuff, that meeting's closed. The principle of the thing is we losing it. And it scared me. I went to a friend's funeral not too long ago. Don came here. He was here when I got here. And we were talking about Don. I went to his homegoing, and this guy, he an old white man, looked like Santa Claus, right? He looked like Santa Claus. But every time I walked up to him, I kept trying to tell them people, they kept trying to tell me he's white. And I said, y'all keep trying to tell me he's white. And the reason I didn't feel that because he never treated me he treated me eye to eye. And it was never how much or how little I had or who my connections was up to the day he died. And it was a whole crew of us that way. It didn't matter what color you was, how much or how little you had. And now we so separate. It's like the principle is unity. We got that unity. We got to stay unified. We used to have at least one or two in our area. We had one or two gatherings where all the areas did something together. If it was a picnic, it was New Year's Eve. We did stuff. Now the West End and Midtown can't even come together. I went to an event one night at the same location. It was one area one night and the other area the next night. I'm like, damn. We so far apart and we've got to come back together. We've got to come back together, you know, because that's what, you know, and stop being afraid to speak up. Tell them, man, y'all ain't doing nothing. They don't want to hear me no more. I need some help. Tell them they're not doing nothing. You know, stop pretending you know how to do these steps and you don't. I don't care if you got 20 years, you got 25 years. Learn about these steps. Learn these traditions. And if you get a chance, maybe you might learn a little bit about the concepts. You know, but the steps got principles and the traditions have principles. And if you don't have them, you can call me. I got them. And I've learned to live them in my life. And it might irritate you because I'm not going to deal with your shit. I could love you through your shit, but you ain't shitting on me. You shit on your own self. You know what I'm saying? I'll give you something to wipe it up with, but I ain't, you know what I'm saying? You know, it's time for us to take care of ourselves, but we gotta holler because people are dying around here that I know help me live. But who's remembering them? You know, okay. I don't know. Today, it was real challenging for me because, like I said, I went to try to save my house and I lost them. They trying to take my house from me. You know, and I'm trying to get through it. Now I got some shame? No, I don't got no shame. I can't remember stuff. Can't remember. I ain't behind. I just thought of something good. Yeah. So now, after taking a couple of weeks and not telling my sponsor, I have to go back to talking to her every day. You know, with over 30 years, I'm still talking to my sponsor on a regular basis. You know what I'm saying? Because I could come up now, because I can't remember. I'm not the person that I used to be, and I ain't got it all together. So I need support of my sponsor, and she needs support of me. Because she's a little older than me, too. So she can say, hey, I got that, too. And it helped me feel better. But it's been a long, long journey. And I try to remember everything, but where was that? Okay. In the fifth tradition, it says each group, no. Well, we already know that, don't we? Each group has for one primary purpose to carry the message to the addict who still suffers. And that's accountability and hope. That's tradition 5, right? It says our only requirement for membership is the desire to stop using. It's a desire. Freedom is tradition 3. Okay. And then this is one we read all the time in our groups. It says, for our group purpose, there's but one ultimate authority, a loving God, that he may express himself in our group conscience. Our leaders are but trusted servants. They do not govern. And that's selfless service. There are principles behind these traditions that are really important. And in order for us to, this word to come back in, our primary purpose, it's like now I don't have to worry about how much or how little I got. My primary purpose is to stay clean and help somebody else stay clean. You know, sometimes I've learned more and more how to shut my mouth, and I ain't got to explain who I am or what I am. I just have to do it. You know, I can't be much afraid. I can't, you know. In the 12th position, it says that anonymity is the spiritual foundation of all our traditions, ever reminding us to place principles before personality. Service, anonymity. That's our 12th tradition. It says the spiritual foundation becomes more important than any one group or individual. And I got this thing sometimes, my sponsors get on me and tease me about, but when we do have big book study, I mean, when I came around, we had to be there every week, once a week. If you missed 3 days, that was one absence. If you missed 3 lates, was an absence. And we had to go every week. Now, you'd be good if you get there once a month. You know, so it's new to me. I didn't know that it would ever be like that, you know, in this new program.
Right.
It's pretty now. It's not like it used to be. And we can't even get our group to work on, what's that principle? When we work on the group inventory, it's a thing for group inventory because our groups are, oh gosh. I don't know if anybody else been there, but I hope I wasn't the only one with that problem that our group, 8 years we didn't do group inventory. For 8 years. Ain't gonna take an inventory on ourselves to see what we could do better to help that suffering addict that come in the door. I don't know what's been happening with your group, but the group that I've been around here lately, it's like I had to take a back seat. And I slide in a meeting, I slide out. I'm the one to go to a meeting and sit up front. Everybody, they gonna make out way for me to get at the front. I was always scared. I knew the meeting, what it was like when I first got here. They told me you sit up front where the drugs is, when the drugs was there. So you sit up front because that's where the good stuff is, and you ain't got to pay attention to everything behind you. I'm very grateful, and I'm very grateful to have the opportunity to share with you all. And it's just very, very important. I'm going to ask y'all to do one thing. And sometimes we get lost in our mind. The only thing I'm going to ask y'all to do is close your eyes for a second. Close your eyes. I'm going to ask everybody to take a deep breath. Hold it. Now let it out. I'm going to ask you to take a deep breath again. In. Let it out. I want you to tell yourself what you were thinking about. Sometimes we have to put everything aside, let our brains rest, and look at it in a new direction. So when a day get too big for you all, this is me. When a day get too big, because a day is too big for me, take a second, take that breath. So what came real clear to me, that when God says he don't put no more than you can bear, you can't bear but one breath. And that's what saved me from not falling apart today. That I practiced that. So I didn't get clean one day at a time. I got clean and stayed clean 1 second at a time. So remember that. Thank y'all for allowing me to be a part of it.
Ooh, I want to thank Wahida L again for that message. All right.